What's going on YouTube? This is Chaos Rain here, and in this video this is both a build update and a bit of a where I'm going with my build and how high of a level I'm going to try and take it, so on and so forth. First thing I will say is I'm probably going to be working on getting some experience going, getting some levels, hopefully getting about 95, 96, maybe even higher, depending on how much currency I can get and representing that while grinding heist, getting all my currency up. I may just end up sitting there going to 100 this week, my first 100, we'll see. Also depends on how many guildmates I have still actively playing at that time, of course, but let's hope, right? So first things first, I'm going to go over a few things. My build has changed for the most part drastically, and I'm really enjoying the way it feels. Honestly, it feels a lot smoother, a lot more solid all around, and it just feels like I'm able to do a lot more with the way I have my build set up as is. And as far as damage goes, I am missing a little damage in comparison to my old setup, but we'll go ahead and go over everything as we get it, and wait for the PlayStation 4 loading screen on PoE to finish. Of course, excuse me. Of course, there's always the loading. Jesus. Sorry. Of course, there's always a loading that has in-crew resources as well. So, let's see if we can't get it to load real quick. See if we can get the loading screen into my hideout first before we get... No, looks like we got the... oh, no. Okay, it says it's entering my hideout. We got it going. Perfect, we got this. So some of the loading was towards the hideout. Oh, it disconnected us. Guess I'll just wait in Karui this time. Alright, cool. Perfect, alright. So, let's go to my hideout. And I will show you what we got going on, as well as the feature of the build. Let me go ahead and grab my hunter out of the guild stash. If it's there, it is. Cool. So, first things first, we are not using hatred anymore. We are using purity of ice and flesh and stone, I believe, or blood and sand, one of the two. I think it's blood and sand. I'll look at it right now. I think it is blood and sand. Okay, it's level 1. I haven't, leveled it at all. But let's go ahead and go over my decisions and whatnot and what I'm doing. As you know, we are using the Arborix. Arborix gives us iron reflexes. With iron reflexes, we have all of our evasion converted to armor. Currently, we have 56% physical damage reduction, and we have all pretty good all res except for fire. Fire, I'm working on the helmet to fix the fire res, but as of now, this is what our fire is. Ideally, I want to fizz taken as fire and fizz taken as cold, and I want to triple taken as, but I'm like a bunch of chaos in and haven't hit it yet, so it is what it is. Then we still are using the Call of the Void. The reason we're using Call of the Void is because enemies chilled by my hits are shattered, as though they were frozen, meaning I don't have to freeze them. And it also gives us, the big thing is, enemies chilled by hits deal less damage equal to half of the chill effect. With IceShot, I almost always have 30% chill effect, so it's pretty solid for me. It's 15% less damage taken, and it's overall damage taken, not just elemental or physical. Then we have the reverse chill ring. Every time we're hit, it's a chance to chill us, so we might as well reverse that chill and run faster, hit faster. Now, because I have such high damage reduction, the chill isn't very effective. It's usually like 1 or 2%, but we'll get into why that is in a second. Then we have the Eternal Struggle, which says critical strikes inflict malignant madness, which reduces their action speed and damage by 10%. With Chill already reducing action speed up to 30% and Freeze up to 100%, you know, they're just always going to be super slow. We have our Boots, which is Brittle Ground, and then just a random implicit there. I'm probably gonna fix this eventually to try and use and utilize the prefixes a little more, but the suffixes are just perfect for what I need. So same thing for these gloves. I need to fix the prefixes, but the suffixes are perfect for my needs. Our quiver, honestly, once we get our reses fixed, I'm probably going to change this quiver, but as of now, this is what we have. We're still using the goal. Our links are increased crit strikes, ice shot, cold pin, added cold, divergent inspiration, and elite damage attacks awakened. In our auras, we have Arctic armor. It's not considered an aura. I'll tell you why we're using it in a second. Blood rage, because we like frenzy charges and attacking faster. Blood and Sand for more area damage. Basically that's it. The area of effect is negligible. Headhunter for our single target. We have LE damage with attacks, ice shot, barrage support, divergent inspiration, added cold, and cold pen. And then we have cast 1 damage taken, immortal call. Now I'm probably going to lower this cast 1 damage taken by a lot, just because I don't really take a lot of damage, so I might just lower it to a point to where I can, you know, take a lot less damage to trigger it, and when that happens, I will basically be able to take up to 20%, you know, less elemental and physical, which stacks with all my other reductions. We have second wind and dash, even though we have the dash on here, just because it's still better. I actually had the phasing dash. I believe I sold it. We have Herald of Ice, Purity of Ice, Sniper's Mark, and Mark on Hit. And that is it for our links. We are currently using a couple random flasks. This is just immune to chill or freeze during a flask effect. We actually need to re-roll this because oh wow, our realm's restarting in 15 minutes. Because this is actually stopping us from taking any kind of chill. Immunity to shock during a flask effect. That sounds pretty good though. Only increase and less duration cancel out, so, you know, it's 5.60. You know what? Nah, let's see what else we can get. Void being shocked. I don't care about the increased effect. Reduce effect of curses is always good. Low tier though. Charge recovery is actually really good for this. Alright, we'll take this. So now that my build's not bricked, let's go ahead and go over the rest of the flasks. We have a diamond with an reduced effect of shock. Actually, this one needs to be re-rolled too. Immunity to ignite. And it's augment. Charge recovery. What's the time? 4 seconds? I'll take it. 4 seconds is fine. Then we have Dying Sun. This gives us a little bit of fire res and you know, less fire damage taken, which is great. Then we have Quicksilver with attack speed. We actually don't have a suffix with more movement speed yet. Eventually I'm going to change that. Probably fix my flasks eventually. And then we have in our tree, we have a couple of jewels that we've swapped out. First and foremost, we are using Sublime Vision. And right here it says auras from your skills have 39% increased effect on you, and 30% of fire and lightning damage taken as cold damage while affected by Purity of Ice. Aura skills other than Purity of Ice are disabled. So this basically means that we reduce all of our elemental damage into ice damage, and our ice damage we have 81 cold res, which is pretty insane. But to make things better, we are, you know, actually I need to change this eventually, but this is an example of a meh Watcher's Eye because I can't use it because Hatred's useless. But what you can do is you can get Purity of Ice Watcher's Eyes. to stack with your Sublime Vision, and they're very cheap usually. Immune to freeze, while Purity of Ice is pretty solid. Fizz damage taken as cold while affected by Purity of Ice, which is insane. Then you have, yeah, Fizz damage taken as cold, unaffected by Frostbite. As you see, you know, there's really good ones. I'm most likely going to be doing the Fizz damage taken as cold. Immune to freeze is pretty solid too, but I already immune to freeze, so I was kind of showing you a little bit of what you can go shopping for. I basically just fixed up the build last night, so the hatred was just taken off the build, unfortunately. Yeah, see, it's not horrible. Right here, 50C, we have Fizz damage taken as cold, while affected by Purity of Ice, up to 10%. So, I think I do have enough to buy that. So I'm going to make an offer on that, just see if he accepts it. And I'll offer him, like, I don't have a Normans or Divines, so I can offer him 2 jewelry recombiners to see what he says. Cool. Make sure you apologize. Sorry, broke. Alright. Now, other than that, we do have the Replica Fragile Bloom. Replica Fragile Bloom says when we get hit, we get 0.7 times 5, which is 3.5% regeneration of our health. So 3.5% of our health is regen immediately, and then it loses fragile things per second after we're hit. So either way, we're going to get about 7% of our health back upon being hit at all. We are taking all of the health nodes. We are taking point blank. We are taking the mark because we have marked on a hit, so we can coal. And of course, in my nearby marked enemies are binded. We are taking the prod speed for the node and the ranger tree. Our current defense level is suppression at 100% with 55% damage prevented. We have 56% physical damage reduction, and we have even more because of Arctic Armor, an almost Arctic Armor. When we're hit, we have 20% chance that our enemies are frozen, and while we're standing still, which is every time we fire, we take 12% less physical damage and 12% less fire damage. This is really good with our fire res being the way it is right now, of course, but I mean, once our fire res is higher, it's just going to be that much more insane. So yeah, there's that. This is just less physical damage and less fire damage overall, so this stacks with all of our other reductions. And overall, we have 15 here, 10 here, we have 10 here for physical, then we have... Oh, he accepted. Nice. This is going to reduce my physical damage by another 10%. Of course, I need to divine it, but, you know, it's still going to be really strong for what I needed to do. And otherwise, we have pretty much a pretty solid setup. So let's go ahead and show you a little bit of a showcase. I'm actually just, without divining it, I'm just going to put the Watcher's Eye in. Oh, and our jewel here is a prod speed dodge damage, and we have a prod damage check cast speed, so we have pretty good utility there. So let's go ahead and put one of the higher tier maps we have. Now, this isn't done yet. I will probably get murdered, but I can at least show you a little bit about what I have going, so you guys can kind of experiment and see how you want to do it. Sure, let's do a t15, Crimson Temple. Alright. Just a regular Alcon has crit, it's fine. So let's go ahead and see and show you a little bit about our new setup. There are a few changes that I can immediately think can be made. First and foremost, I can use an Empower 4 on the Purity of Ice. This would give me excuse me, bigger mana multiplier, but I have mana left over. This would also probably give me somewhere around 86 or 87 cold res, which would make me that much tankier. And since a percentage of my fire and lightning is dealt to me as cold, I would just be pretty tanky. I don't know how I have 6 endurance charges, that's interesting. As you can tell, it's some things are hitting us a little bit, but it's nothing too crazy. Sure. This isn't super juiced content. This is just T16. We're just able to walk through packs basically. No headhunter buffs. The headhunter does help obviously whenever it's crazier. But, you know, the more juicier you put your map, the more headhunter is going to be useful. This is just a non-juiced up map, so I can show you a little bit about how tanky the build is. Taking basically 0 damage. And it's going to get less and less the more I finish the build, because I'm going to be converting the Fizz Taken as elemental, and then all my other defensive layers are just going to make me pretty tough. Right there was fire damage, and we don't have max fire res, so when you max our fire res, that's just basically not going to do any damage. Excuse me, can you die please? Thank you. Sure. Our bossing damage is still lacking. Honestly, I think we do more damage with just our spammable IceShot than with the other one, so. %90 less effect of my curse on this. This is ridiculous. So my sniper smoke is doing nothing. And just like that, we have finished the boss. Yeah, it took a little longer, but we didn't have, what do you call it? A curse, which is a lot of our damage right now because we don't have a lot of pen. But other than that, pretty solid, pretty tanky, able to tank T16, T15 bosses without any real issue. And yeah, that's about it for this one. If you guys enjoy this video, please feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see more about it, don't be afraid to ask. For now, I'm going to be putting this back in Guild Stash for anyone wanting to use it. There we go. Alright. Talk to you guys later. As always, have a good one. Take it easy. And see you later.